Hey guys, Lukewarm Mining here. So I got really tired of these 80mm fans pretty quickly. You can hear these through my garage, through multiple doors in my house. So I wanted to go ahead and make my own 120mm and also 140mm fan adapters for the BC250. So essentially these are custom made fans for the BC250. They are unique to it. They only come from what I understand in the BC250. So like a lot of the hardware that's in these, it is kind of one-off. The nice part is these are technically just modified 4-pin adapters with 2 extra power pins on there. So you can't just run regular 4-pin PWM server fans inside the BC250. You don't have to worry about anything. And also disconnecting the fans and leave them unplugged does not cause it to air out on the daughter board. So you can just go ahead and drop these things in. You can also connect them directly to the BC250 cards, but honestly, the daughter board kind of, I guess, does an average of the temperatures across the cards. So it gives a little bit more control from at least when I tried it out. So anyways, what I went ahead and did is designed a shroud that is direct drop-in. For this, so you don't actually have to modify the BC250. I also intentionally notched all these ones so that when you install them, the fan cables can get routed through right there, so that these seal against the bottom of the case, so that you can have better airflow through it and better airflow control. So there's no modifications really that need to be made to this and at all to do the drop-in fan install. All you have to do is remove the fans on the front. They just have the coarse threaded fan screws that come on like server cases or on like your PC case. And then on the bottom, you have to clip off the zip tie that holds the cable down. You have to scrape off these little plastic bottom things, but honestly I just took a flathead screwdriver, and the tape on this is so crappy at this point because it's been sitting for so long that it just popped right off, and obviously unplugging the fans. The fans are under there, you can't really see them from here, but the fans are under this little bracket right here. There's plenty of room to get your hand in if you get the right angle, but I have a little bit larger hands, so it's a little bit harder to get it in there. So the reason why I'm doing these drop-ins instead of the front panel replacement is, one, the structural integrity of the server case is kept in. These are riveted together, they're not screwed. These are riveted through this front plate right here. And so because it's riveted, you have to drill them out to do the front panel replacement on these. You also have to pop out the power button and the LED that comes with it. Whereas with just a drop-in, all you have to do essentially is scrape those off, remove the fans, and then intentionally use the original coarse threaded fan screws to screw on 120mm fans or 140mm fans if you decide to do that. What I will say is this: you can get your hands down there to plug in the 4-pin fans. You will have to slightly modify the fans themselves on the connectors. You could also just force it, but it's much easier to just modify the fan clip. The other thing you can do if you don't have smaller hands is remove the 3 cards right here, 3 cards right here, and 3 cards right here. In all honesty, if you watched my other video about the pins burning up on these things, I'd say honestly, if you just got your BC250 and you want to make sure it's silent, go ahead and remove all the cards, plug in your fans, and then reslot them. And once you get them reslotted, make sure you push down on them. You'll hear it. There's actually kind of and feel it. There's like an audible and kind of physical click that you'll feel. There's one pin that's a little bit longer than all the rest that's a little bit bent on all the cards, and you'll feel it actually go clink when you push it down. And I've noticed that pin in particular on, I think, one of these cards, you could see it was starting to get all wrinkly, which means it was getting way too hot and the connector was starting to burn up. So definitely recommend doing that anyways. I wanted to keep the same CFM capacity as the factory ones because obviously these do well enough for cooling. I found sort of kind of the same fan from Digital Key, just not a 6-pin variant, it's a 4-pin variant, and added up all together, I believe it was 600 CFM for all those 80mm fans together. So these ASIC fans, these ones actually came off of the Z15, then I had one left over that I was using cool CMP cards. These are 2.7 amp, 12 volt fans that are 4-pin. These provide 200 CFM or a little bit above 200 CFM if I remember correctly a piece. So they essentially equate out to all of those 80mm fans. They also make 300 CFM versions of these, obviously going to be significantly louder and pull more power. But if you want that overhead on there, you can definitely do that. And then same with the 140mm fans. They make 140 millimeter fans that are like 2.7, 3.2 amp fans that are like 300 CFM, and those should be definitely enough to cool these BC250s. So let's go ahead and get them installed. I almost forgot to point it out. So what you're gonna have to do on these is trim off one of the ears on the 4-pin. So on the daughter board itself, it has a little 3-pin plus the 2-pin to the side. That's how they have them mounted on here. As you can see, so it's almost set up like a 3-pin fan rather than a 4-pin, even though it's a 6-pin connector. So what you'll have to do is modify the fans. You can either cut off both tabs, or if you want it to line up a little bit better, just cut off the one tab on this side and leave this one up so that you can just press it on there real easy. So that's all the fans plugged in, and essentially all you do is take them and drop them in. You do have to wiggle them a little bit to get this cable around the edge. This one does not have the same notch as the rest. This is revision number 1, this is revision number 2, and revision number 3, which is the one that I will have up on my store and linked to this video. Has a slightly bigger notch here and a slightly different top. And like that, they are all in. So honestly, I find, at least with these shrouds that I designed, putting the left and the right one first and then putting the center in as the final piece seems to be the easiest way to get it. As you can see, hardly any wiggle room in there. It makes a nice seal against the top right here and this inside bar right here. So should help with directing airflow and kind of keeping it from backfeeding. I do think though that, as you can see on this, I've installed the top a couple times on it. It does fit. You do kind of have to give a little bit more oomph behind it to get it through here. I could probably notch this out a little bit right here just to make it so that putting the top panel on it is significantly easier. What I will say is this: if you see it kind of raised up over the edge, more likely that means your fan cable isn't fully under there. And so you might have to wiggle it around a little bit more. Also thinking about making it so that you can just use some tape on the edge, hold the cable in a little bit just so it doesn't feed around the edge, because we do want to make sure that this is as tight as possible to produce the best airflow. Alrighty guys, so had it running for about an hour now, have it all hooked up. It's mining currently just the Warthog by itself. The network hash rate has dropped a little bit because profitability is down, so I'm trying to take advantage of that with them right now. As you can hear, it is significantly quieter. It's not super high pitched. The only high pitched noise you really hear right now is the power supplies. Probably modify those with some knock to up fans. I know that's pretty common. Anyways, you can see all the cards are hooked up and running at this point. So if you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment down below and hit me up on Discord, or you can hit me up on lukewarmmining.com. That's where I'm going to be having all my shrouds and any of my stuff that I design. I'll have for sale on there now. Should be live streaming this weekend. Hope to see you guys then. Anyways, peace.